Welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Continuing our look at the Fender American Ultra 2 series. This time we're looking at the Ultra 2 Stratocaster with an Ebony fretboard. At a price of $21.99, I'll tell you everything you need to know about this guitar when we put it on the bench and pull it apart, and of course we're going to plug it in and play it. At the top, we are giving away a Gibson Les Paul when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To win that guitar, it is insanely cool. Hit subscribe right now. You must be subscribed. Turn on notifications and sign up via Gleam. All that's pinned in the comments or down below in the description. Down there, you'll also find the link to buy new gear. If you're in the market for any new gear, click to buy gear using our link. You're gonna get easy payment plans and fast free shipping. It makes buying new gear like the Ultra 2 or a Gibson Les Paul super easy, so check that out. Without further ado, let's take a look at the Ultra 2 Stratocaster from Fender. All right, check out, is that not the most poppin' blue you've seen? This is called Noble Blue, and it's a metallic blue finish. The standout in the Ultra 2 series, the thing that they absolutely nailed are the necks on these guitars. The neck shape is fantastic. This is kind of a satin finish on the back of the neck. You got Fender locking tuners, and then check this out, you got this nicely contoured heel for ultimate access to the upper register of the Stratocaster. You got this black anodized pickguard, which just looks fantastic. And the noiseless pickups. I tried the Telecaster out, you can watch that video. While I thought the neck was fantastic, I was not a huge fan of the noiseless pickups, but we're gonna give them a fair shake with the Stratocaster. The S1 switch does something a little different in this iteration, which is in position 1, you can S1 on and you have a Gilmore kind of thing with the neck pickup on with the bridge pickup, and then in position 2 you have all the pickups on. So you get 2 extra positions out of the S1 switch, which is really cool. Let's hit the bench and pull this apart before we plug it in. It ships ready for the stage with the Schaller strap locks as well, which is actually kind of a nice feature out of the box. Starting up at the top of the headstock, Fender Stratocaster in gold on a satin finish on this quarter sawn maple neck. Ebony fretboard. Flipping this over, I'll give you another look at the Fender locking tuners. Coming down here, satin finish on the back of the neck. They really, like I said, nailed the shape of this neck. Contoured, a majorly contoured heel going on here. American Ultra 2 on the plate. Flipping it over here, you actually have, these are glow-in-the-dark fret markers, which is great if the stage lighting is all of a sudden pitch dark on you and you need to start a riff. The fret markers here, glow in the dark. And then you've got these pearloid dots otherwise on that ebony fretboard. Coming down, you have this anodized pickguard, which is beautiful in black, noiseless pickups. S1 switch is going to be found on the volume, and then tone here. 5-way Strat selector switch, and you got a 6-saddle modern Strat trem unit here with the pop-in trem arm as well. Let's get the strings out of the way and get some measurements. All right, American Ultra 2 on the plate. You can see the contoured heel going on here. They actually have shorter screws for that thinner heel joint there, so just watch when you put those back that you put the shorter screws on top. Otherwise, we'll flip this body around. The body is alder, and pop out this maple neck. Get a look at the raw alder underneath there in the neck pocket. And let's talk about this neck. So you actually have a compound radius on this ebony fretboard. And what that means is you have a more kind of Fender modern 10-inch radius down in cowboy territory. And as you come up the neck, it gets flatter. So we go up to a 14-inch flatter radius on this ebony fretboard. So it makes it a faster playing, easier playing experience. 1.69 inches at the nut. You have a D-shaped neck. 0.82 inches at the first, up to 0.86 inches at the 12th. Alder body comes in at 1.8 inches thick. Flipping up this beautiful pickguard here, nice and heavy, heavy duty. Let's take a look under the hood. So obviously you have this taller S1 switch, and you got these Ultra Strat vintage noiseless pickups. So idea here is that you have a vintage style tone, but without any of the 60 cycle hum of a single coil pickup. And something that was pointed out to me, and this makes sense, if you are a particularly high gain type of player, noiseless could especially make the difference for you. If you're playing single coil style guitar, but you got the noiseless, it's when you really push that gain that can really be your best friend. The body here, this is kind of cool. I've not seen this before. I like this U2. It's actually etched into the body cavity here. And if you want to go mod crazy, you can see the body itself already has the room for a humbucker in neck and a humbucker in bridge. Gives you a few options if you want to change out the noiseless pickups. Other than that, hand wired, looks pretty clean under the hood here. Bono strikes again. It's a download code QR. 5-way selector is going to be standard Strat, positions 1 through 5. You have positions 6 and 7 with the S1. So position 6 or 1 is just with the S1 on. You're going to have Gilmore style where you have the bridge and the neck on. And then position 2 with the S1 engaged is going to be all 3 pickups on in parallel at the same time. Let's get a reading on these pickups. 10-5 in bridge, 8-7 middle, 8-3 neck. And for the heck of it, let's hit the S1 switch. So adding the neck here, we drop to 4-7 since we've added the extra pickup. And position 2, all on, we get 3.0 reading when we turn all those pickups on. All right, same anodized cover type for the trem. Give you a look under the hood there. 8 pounds, 2 ounces, we'll call it 8.1 pounds. All right, flipping it around for an initial reaction. I love the neck. They really did nail this neck. With that dense ebony, I don't feel like the guitar necessarily projects as loud unplugged, but of course we're about to plug it in and that's the best part. I'll remind you, if you're in the market for this guitar or any gear, click to buy new gear using our link. You'll find it down below. And also be in it to win it. Hit subscribe if you haven't, because we're giving away a Gibson Les Paul Standard when we hit 100,000 subscribers. All right, plugging the guitar in. That really is my favorite part. Let's play this. I'll show you clean tones. We'll dirty it up, then we'll let it scream behind the track. On the other side of that, I'll give my raw, honest reaction to playing the Ultra 2 Strat along with my final score. So drop a comment as we go. I'll see you on the other side. Let's get to work. right, you stuck with me to the end. What did you think? Is it worth $21.99? I'll tell you what I think. I based a final score on 3 categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. You can check out our review of the Ultra 2 Telecaster as well. But here we're talking about the Stratocaster, and let's talk about playability. The neck is perfect. I'm just gonna be a parrot that keeps saying this because it is so true. The neck shape is they absolutely nailed the neck on these guitars. It feels that good. It is really fantastic. I found the overall playability of the guitar, it's maybe a tad on the heavy side for a Strat, a little over 8 pounds, but not bad. Well balanced, plays fantastic. Ebony feels like a dream. Very playable guitar. Didn't really have too much trouble with the trem, kind of as to be expected with a floating trem guitar. It depends how much you want to use and abuse it, but I had a great experience overall with this guitar from a playability standpoint. I'm going to give it a high score from a playability standpoint of 9.4 on overall playability. Now, let's talk sounds. As I told you with the Telecaster, I'm not a fan of the noiseless pickups, but I will succumb to one area where I think the noiseless pickups will give you an advantage, and that is if you are a high gain player. Now, it is not a secret that I am necessarily the highest gain player, so that's probably the biggest reason why, to my ears, the noiseless pickups don't sound right. To me, they sound brittle, they sound brash, they sound artificial, they sound like single coil taps on a humbucker, and I'm just not a fan of the sound. But I could see if you are pushing hard with high gain and you want a noiseless experience, this really is a big advantage to a player like that. So you can drop a comment and let me know your experience with noiseless pickups. I'm probably somebody who's going to pick, and you can tell me, yeah, then go buy the American Vintage 2, and that's probably what I would buy over the Ultra 2. But the American Vintage 2, around the same price, does not feel like the playability of this neck. So I cannot detract too much in terms of the experience of this guitar just because I'm not a fan of the noiseless. But if I'm just basing it on sounds, given that it has the noiseless pickups, I actually think the noiseless pickups in general sound better in the Strat than they did the Telecaster. I will definitely say that it worked better with the Stratocaster than the Telecaster. And the S1 switch is a little bit more usable in the sense that it gives you 2 key sounds, which I think are really cool in a Strat. When you engage the S1, getting that Gilmore wiring where you have the bridge and the neck pickup is so clutch on a Stratocaster. And then having just the all-on pickups I think is really cool too. So S1 adds to sound and it really adds to playability, but it adds to sound here. I'm gonna give it an 8.3 on overall sound. Now when it comes to value, at $21.99 with the Ebony, this is also available with a maple fretboard, so you can choose if you want the Ebony experience or the maple. It has a nice TSA molded hardshell case, my favorite of the modern cases, and they really did pay attention to all the appointments of this guitar. It is a modern performance dream. I don't want to pull too much away from these guitars because I'm personally not a fan of the noiseless. Because I will tell you, for as little as of a fan of I may be of the noiseless, the overall package here that they put together is phenomenal, down to the glow-in-the-dark position markers, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5 on overall value. It's going to bring us to a final score, and I'll remind you, if you're in the market for this guitar or any others, click to buy new gear using our link. You can also check out my original music down below and be in it to win it. Hit subscribe if you haven't, because we're giving away a Gibson Les Paul. All that to say, we come to a final score on the Ultra 2 Stratocaster of...
What was the playability?
It was 8. Playability was high. Playability was 9.4. It was 9.4, 8.3, 8.5. All right, so this score, so the overall score here is 8.7, and I will interpret that as saying that it's very high scoring in terms of playability and value. It's getting detracted from my personal dislike of the noiseless, but I cannot fault the series overall with what they're doing here. It feels like a premium guitar, and they are delivering on that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will also say this pulls ahead of the Telecaster. This, to me, is a better experience overall than the Telecaster in the Ultra 2 series. More impressed with the Strat for sure than the Tele in this series. You can check out our review of the Telecaster. Check out our links down below. Be in it to win it with our giveaway. Until next time, I'm John, that's Zach for Play and Trade Guitars. Keep playing, keep rocking. See you next time. This is actually kind of a cool feature. I just noticed this. I didn't notice on the Tele, but it's ready to go for the locking tuners. Or do that whole thing again. One cool little feature here, it ships ready to go for the strap locks, the Schaller tuners. All right, well, they've got you stage ready with the Schaller locking strap locks. Ships ready for the stage with the Schaller strap locks as well, which is actually kind of a nice feature out of the box. Jeez. All right,